Well, newly elected Pope Leo XIV holding his first Sunday blessing as leader of the Catholic Church. The 69-year-old Chicago native and first American Pope speaking today at the very center of the square and the heart of the church, St. Peter's Basilica, with 100,000 people listening below. Pope Leo echoing his predecessor, Pope Francis, urging an end to the ongoing war in Ukraine, calling for just and lasting peace as soon as possible. Joining us now is Father Anthony Sorgie of Immaculate Conception and Assumption of Our Lady Parish. Father, it is great to have you. Thank you for joining us this Sunday.
Oh, thank you, Kelly, for having me.
Wonderful
honestly.
to have you. So, Pope Leo's first Sunday blessing coming today, peace being so central to his message. I'd love to get your reaction off the top and also the themes you believe will center his leadership of the Catholic Church.
Well, first of all, to have him go right to the heart of the matter, requesting peace. I think of the famous speech at the United Nations, peace, war, never again, from Pope Paul VI, Pope St. Paul VI. So he's echoing not only Pope Francis, but all of his predecessors who were instruments of peace. And so to have him do that was falling in line as the next successor of St. Peter. I would suspect that his pontificate would probably continue not only the work of Pope Francis, the work of a number of our Holy Fathers like Pope Benedict and Pope John Paul II, but through his own personality and experience. He was a Chicago native coming from that beautiful city that takes himself to Peru for a good bit of his life, and not just to Lima or the center of Peru, out into the Andes, to the poorest of the poor in that nation. So my guess is that's where his heart is, even though now he is located in Vatican City in the center of Italy, but I'm sure he's healthy enough to do some traveling. So I think championing the causes of lifting poverty, feeding the hungry, all of what we call the corporal works of mercy will be right at the top of his agenda and bring to bear on that the voice of our Lord through him as his pontiff.
This is what Pope Leo's friend, Reverend Mark R. Francis, told us on NewsNation yesterday about Pope Leo, who he calls Bob to note. Here's the clip.
I know.
But Bob is the kind of person that you would meet in the grocery store or a gas station, or he's totally accessible and non-pompous. And so he has a very deep spirituality, but he doesn't wear it on his sleeve. And so the issue here, I think, is that he's a normal human being. They say in Spanish, gente como uno. He's an ordinary person who has been extraordinarily graced by God.
We have seen so many folks in America, namely younger believers, energized. What do you see as the impact of Pope Leo, not only on believers, but also on the church here in the U.S.?
Oh, I think it's going to be a renaissance. I really do. And even what his confrere there, that Augustinian priest, calling him Bob or telling us a little bit about his personality, it's already so obvious. His humility, his calmness, very different. More, little bits of personality of the last 3 or 4 Holy Fathers in him. And yet, I have to tell you, he wore the role from the moment he walked out on the balcony. I think he's going to energize the church in the United States, which has already begun, for sure, with all of our Eucharistic revival, which has been an effort for 2 years now, at least, a revival of the Eucharist. We had some gigantic evidence of that in Indianapolis earlier in the year. He is going to light it on fire, I can imagine. And of course, I pray he comes home to the United States a good number of times, as well as his beloved Peru, where he has dual citizenship, quite obviously.
Well, Father Sorgie, such a pleasure to have you on. Thank you for weighing in.
Thank you. Thank you.
We most appreciate
God bless.
it. God bless you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.